Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Xavier Smith, and today I'm going to teach you about complex numbers, complex conjugates, and how to graph them. So let's start. Complex numbers are written as a plus bi. So it's a real number plus an imaginary number. So if a is 0, then the complex number is, well, it's imaginary. But if b is 0, then you have a real number. So real and imaginary numbers are both complex numbers. It just depends. Well, if a is 0, then it's imaginary. If b is 0, well, then it's real. So what does it look like? Well, they'd look like 2 plus 4i, or negative 2 plus I, or 5 minus 3i. Doesn't really matter. It's just real number followed by a plus or minus, then followed by an imaginary number. So let's talk about complex conjugates. What are they? Well, they're written as a plus bi. If you have a plus bi, you just have a complex number. The complex conjugate of that would be a minus bi. So a stays the same and b stays the same. I is always the same. Don't know what that was. But a plus bi times a minus bi. So if we wrote that out, a plus bi times a minus bi, we'd get a squared minus abi plus abi minus b squared I squared. And what this would really mean is abi and, well, negative abi and positive abi cancel each other. So the i's are gone. The reason the i's are gone is, if you remember, I squared, well, I is root negative 1, so I squared is negative 1. So all the i's are gone, and now you have a real number. So if you have a complex number and need to get rid of the I, then you can use the complex conjugate, and you'll get a real number, which will come in handy when using division of complex numbers. So an example would be like 2 plus 3i, and then of course it has to be a minus bi, so it's 2 minus 3i equals 4 minus 6i plus 6i minus 9i squared, and that is really, well, this 6i, excuse me, this 6i, this minus 6i, and this positive 6i cancel, and now it's 4 minus 9i squared. I squared again is negative 1, so it is 4 minus 9 times negative 1, which is equal to 13. Now, graphing complex numbers is not very difficult. A plus bi is just graphed as a, comma, b. So what is that? Well, a is your x value, and b is your y value. So your x-axis is now your real axis, and then your y-axis is now your imaginary axis. So if we were to graph 2 plus 3i, we'd go over 2 on the real axis, and then go up 3. And then that's that. You just keep doing that over and over again. 2 minus 3i, well, you go over 2, go down 3. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you learned something.